Hey, it's Frankie Finn here. We are down at the alpaca farm. There's a little Heidi B there. I don't know where my Zelda went. She's somewhere around. And we're going to be talking about how to have, there's my Zelda right there, a lifestyle agency where you can actually, have a life when you make some money. So let's get into that. So I'll tell you one of the biggest reasons why most people don't get to have a cool life agency where they either have no money and no clients and then they're struggling to get them and then they have all the time in the world, or they get clients and then they're drowning in fulfillment and time. I'll tell you the first reason most people get stuck. Something called the difference between custom and customization. And if you've been on this channel, you've heard me mention it before, but customization is, I know, it's great. The alpacas are saying hello. Alpaca lunch! So when you're doing too much custom work, which means and I'll tell you, one of the worst services for that is actually SEO. It's hard to take that because everything you're doing for every client is custom. You need to build custom backlinks and more and more and more and more of them. And there's ways to organize that. But what happens is a lot of times people are doing something different for every client. They got a landing page client over here, and they got web design over here for somebody, and then they got a dentist they're running some AdWords for, and then they got a pharmacy they're doing some email campaigns for, and running some Facebook ads for an e-commerce store. And what happens is that may pay the bills well today, but it tends not to scale well. And so one of the things you can do is actually think about, how can I actually dramatically narrow my targeting? Because what happens is if you get in that little narrow band right there's my Zelda B. If you get in that little narrow band, you can reuse a lot of stuff. By the way, we're just right over here, right over here is the border to France. We're in Germany right now. And when you get to reuse stuff, the second thing that'll really help you have that lifestyle is your systems and your processes. And so what you want to think about, and this is a really, really key, is instead of having to do everything myself, is how can I take what's in here and break it down into a step-by-step decision-making process so that somebody else could follow what I'm doing. And I'm actually, in my newest agency, building this right now, where I have a whole bunch of new virtual assistants and stuff, and we've got everything in Asana, and it's actually a little bit hard for me right now because I'm not doing anything and things are getting done. It's a weird thing when you're building a new agency, as I started again. You have to kind of get at some lift-off velocity, and usually that takes effort and those kind of things. And then what ends up happening is you reach a point where now your systems and your processes have to do the heavy lifting, and if you don't do that properly, then you'll get stuck. And you'll know this is true when you say things like, oh, it's just easier if I do it myself. It's just easier if I, or it'll be better, it'll be done right the first time. That means it's all in here, and you can't easily outsource. But if you do those things, what you'll find is you can begin to clone yourself and have both your sales and your delivery scale. Oh, my Zelda B wants to come say hello. Mama, yeah, you can come sit on the bench with Papa. Come here. Come here, come here, come here. I know it's a little tall. Yeah, I got her. So, if you guys do that, you can hang with your little monsters. There's a Zelda B head. And what you'll find is that, at least in my experience, a lifestyle agency is a lot more fun than one where you stare into, building backlinks and signing up for websites that ask you for the X7Q verify. It's always funny to me when a robot says, "How do I know you're not a robot?" Or staring in the ad manager all day is. And so one of the things that you can optimize for that nobody really thinks about when you're doing this is not just what's profitable and what do I do well, but actually make a list of the things that are fun for you, and a list of the things that are kind of you're lukewarm on, and the things that you just hate doing. So for example, I'm really good at SEO, but I hate it with a passion. So that was one of the first things to naturally outsource, is I'm like, hey, there's people out there who love doing the things I hate. I'm almost robbing them of that kind of work. And so what are the things in your agency right now that you hate doing? Because those would be the first things to outsource. And you may not be in the space in your agency, by the way, where you can immediately outsource, but whether you can or you can't, right now you can still build that process so that your agency goes somewhere. There's my lady, by the way, Ilka B. So I hope that's helpful for you guys who want to have like more lifestyle, where you can like, you know, actually enjoy some time mixed in there, where you're not just always working, building the campaigns and the funnels and all that kind of stuff. So much love for you guys, and may the force be with you. And if you're not already, make sure to subscribe.